Okay, to make a long story short, I'm back. Not gonna get into all the drama that went in from last year up until this year, but I'm back. John 26 back. And today's coin is a 1963 2 cents of the Elizabeth II lnka. And this one's a 1963. And it's been made at least 26 million for this year, and they stopped making them probably around 71. It's a standardized circulation coin, 2 cents, rupee, aluminum, 0.76 G, diameter 18.3, thickness 1.33, and it's scalloped. And this reverse here is 2 cents, 1963. If y'all can read that pretty well. I don't know if you can read foreign. And the edge is smoothed. And the obverse, okay, is a coat of arms. Right there. And it's a coat of arms with whatever you can read. I can't translate it from anything right there. And the bonus coin I found for today is a 1956 Jefferson nickel, Denver mark. And it's much as if MS and up, you can get $17 for it at auction, I'd say. Pretty much, but other than that, it's face value. And for today's topic, I'm not reading any more scriptures off the Bible. I already did all of that. I actually read a couple chapters in the Bible myself. I'm actually going to quit doing that. But today's topic, I'm actually going to read off an article here, and this is a subject I'd like to talk about. Why is nudity important in art? A few years ago, I was visiting my mother, sister, and 10-year-old nephew in Seattle after spending several months in Paris. We were sitting around my laptop looking at pictures I'd taken through the city, hoping to inspire my artistical inclined nephew in some way. They probably somewhat bored with what to them amounted to a little more than vacation photos. And I would not begrudge this bedroom. Destination photos are usually only interesting to the person who took them. Always I was clicking us through the shots I'd taken in Muses Orsay when we came upon a photo that caused them all to sit up straight and break out of their torpor. It was Ogling de Monde, The Origin of the World by Gustave Courbet, a big tufted photogristic vagina. The change in the room was noticeable. Both my mother and sister became visibly nervous, and one of them urged me to move to the next photo. Meanwhile, my nephew was peering with interest. "It's a very important painting," I said, before clicking on to the less circumstantially discomforting photo, another painting by Courbet in what was staged as being torn apart by hunting dogs. This brief incident made me wonder, why did this sudden position of nudity, beautiful capturing in a renowned masterpiece no less, have such a startling effect on its viewers? Was it because they were uptight Americans rather than salacious French? Was it because of the painting is so lifelike? Or perhaps because the organ in the question itself was depressionalized by a lack of head and limbs? Maybe the bigger question is, what role does nudity play in art? Nudity has been present in art for just about as long as humans have been creating it. The earliest deception of nudity were often homages of fertility, which eventually gave way to an ancient Greek's expression of appreciation for human form, usually male deceptions of nude gods, heroes, athletes, and warriors. The Greeks tended to clothe women in their art in a tradition that wasn't broken until the 4th century BCE, when Praxiteles sculptures a nudity Aphrodite. Around then, seduction began creeping into Western art. It was worth mentioning that the Hindus had worked sexually into their art for some time. Each of us has a body, and every one of us born naked. But for a range of complex social reasons, our relationship to our own bodies and the bodies of others have been disordered for centuries. When the Christians came into the scene, naked bodies were promptly withdrawn from art, with an exception of Jesus on the cross or the nursing Madonna. It wasn't until the end of the medieval era that attractive female forms began remarrying, and Donala's Renaissance era sculpture of David was the first freestanding nude since the antiquity. Shortly after this, Michelangelo's David was censored with a fig leaf through his Sistine Chapel ceiling did bring male nudes back into the picture. Around this time, Botticelli's birth, Venus gave the female form mainstream acceptance. Nudity was fair game at that point. And over the next 200 years, we saw nudity separate gradually from religious and mythology symbolism. Suddenly it was acceptable to enjoy nudity for the sake of nudity, and we were given revolutionary pieces from Goya, Rubens, Degas, Robin, Renoir, Modigliani, and so on. Then in 1912, pesky Cubist, whatever his name was, shook things up again with his nude deception, a staircase which was refused by Paris, Ceylon, and under the reasoning: a nude never descends the stairs, it reclines, rejected by the Cubanists in Europe. Then ridicule in New York Duplican's painting causes such a uproar largely because it broke with the generally established tradition. That nudes, and especially female nudes, are supposed to portray object rather than agency, passively rather than actively. Spurn in its day, this painting went to inspire generations of artists to come. Thanks to rule breakers like Du Chapman, nude art in the 21st century has opened new considerations. During and after sexual revolutions of the 1920s and 1960s through 1980s, art that portrayed nudity in manners that were graphic and sometimes shocking pushed the boundaries of social acceptance. Women began asserting control over the deception of nudity, and female artists and models began implying questions about power relations between the artist, subject, and the viewer. The work of Cindy Sherman, for example, offered a voyeuristic portrait spanning themes and questions pertaining a beauty, violence, lust, control, and agency. Her subjects include herself, past of their own free will, but they were often in controlled, frightening situations that nevertheless implied sensuality, leaving the viewer to question their role in this confusing power dynamic. Boy. Now in the era of number me too, all art featuring nudity has become political, eliciting more questions than ever. Who is doing the modeling? A stranger, a friend, or a lover? And what does that relation connote? What is the intention? To shock, to admire, to arouse? Is nudity objectifying or empowering? Each of us has a body, and every one of us was born naked. But for a range of complex social reasons, our relationship to our own bodies and bodies of others have been distorted for centuries. Nudity in art serves as a sort of mirror, forcing us to confront the ways society has confronted our bodily relations. It reminds us that the human body can be both beautiful and gothenquistic, innocent and sexualized, free and control it, and it focuses us on consider where our own beliefs fall in these spectrums. The origin of the world was initially commissioned as an heroic work of private collection owned by one of Courbet's benefactors, administrator of conservationism of France's Second Empire. It was the painter's initial attempt to retrieve nudity from the religiosity to which it had been tied since the Middle Ages. In this he was successful for a while. Nude art can certainly still be controversial. It delves into their themes and go far beyond. Eve in the garden or Venus clam, like in the Bible. Whatever the case, we live in a time when nudity can be beautiful. It can agitate and it can be revolutionary. So there's no shame in the naked human body. Article written by Nick Hindelin. So, I'm actually getting into the topic, I just got into the topic of nudity in art. Okay, and I will be having more old money, foreign money, few more to go, and probably going with my life from there, and I don't know what I'll be doing next, but definitely more coins and more paper dollar videos to come. Now, Lakeview John is now out, and nevertheless, to make a long story short, throughout last year going into this year, we'll make a long story short, let's just say I'm back, and I'm back doing well with no problems at all. And John 26 is out, and for the meantime, y'all can watch a clip video of the windmills.